everybody, I am about to go live here on Amidst the Havoc, our final Amidst the Havoc of the weekend. We're going to be capping off talking about the NHRL Championship event. We're going to be trying to do a call, talking to some of the builders, and do a little bit of discussion on Robotica. I won't keep you guys here too long. We do want to enjoy the rest of our day, but we'll be going live in just a couple minutes. Hold tight. Oh, come here. Rallying in here. Alright, everybody, we're back and we're about to be live here on Amidst the Havoc. I had to grab my final mountain water, get a hat on, but we're about to go officially on here. In fact, yeah, let's flip it over. Hello, everybody. Final time today, huh? Our final time for the weekend. This is our 7th and final stream. Was thinking we might have to do an 8th stream, but looks like there was only one intermission today. It was a bit expected. We were thinking it was going to be a much earlier ending for today. It ended about 9:30 last night, but it works for me. It's going to give me a chance to do some other stuff today. Hopefully you guys get out, be a little productive at the end of the day here. But in the meantime, we got some robot fighting to talk about here. Some interesting topics coming out of these two final classes. We're going to do an update, checking on these Robotica brackets, see if we can see any more info on these competitions coming up. We're going to talk about the news that Team Shreddit has dropped, and we're going to see if we can find that page. In fact, let's do that right now. So if you can pull up Shreddit Bro Heavyweight BattleBot. But yeah, great matches, some seriously awesome stuff happening today. Here's shouts to Tony D'Ambrosio. Give a like to that post there. But let's see, Shreddit Bro BattleBot. I don't know if I see it. Maybe I should type in heavyweight. I think that's what they said, heavyweight. I don't think it's here. Maybe it's not here yet. Oh no, we got anyone filing in just yet. Here we go. This is what we're looking at here. Give a like on this. And yeah, it doesn't look like we have anything too exciting happening on here yet. Shreddit Bro BattleBots, but they have applied, and we can assume it's going to be a heavyweight version of Shreddit. But I mean, well, isn't that what HypeTrain was? It is a little interesting to see what different facets of design are going to be taken here to make this bot a bit different. But I mean, I assume Tony D'Ambrosio is going to be working with the P1 guys and their conglomeration of people for whatever they make during the 2022 season. But I'm guessing it's going to be like Evan Arias, maybe the Jack Move people, Alex maybe. Of course, we have Angel, of course, duh. So, you know, definitely some accomplished Roboteers are going to be in that group of people that are going to be competing. We'll just have to see how that plays out. It could be a very successful drum bot. We haven't really seen a really strong, competent, competitive drum bot hop into the scene for a little bit, unless you want to count Riptide as one of those. But I don't really know. I feel like that's more of a vertical spinner, egg beater style robot. But let's not waste too much time here. Let's jump into this beetleweight bracket here and cap things off. Look and see what's happening here in the NHRL 3-pound class. We now have our champion. We just crowned it. And let's talk about that first, actually. Twin Beast versus Eruption in our championship grand final. We saw Twin Beast shock Eruption. We talked about that in the end of our stream that we did earlier today. Very solid driving by Eruption, recognizing the pattern of how Twin Beast works. Twin Beast fixed that, corrected it though. We didn't see any early flips going on during both of these matches here. Twin Beast stayed forward to fight Eruption, and in that first matchup, Twin Beast definitely got the better of Eruption, pulled the wire loose on the weapon. I believe that's what Brian Voxel said is what happened there to stop Eruption's weapon and managed to win the fight by a knockout slash tap out within the first minute. Very smart move by Twin Beast, but also good play by Eruption, knowing about the long game, saying let's get our bot out there quick so we can repair, and it paid off in the end. I don't know if we can pull the matchup up yet, but if we can look at the matchup here, maybe we can take a peek at something going on here in this video. Yep, wait, no, that was yesterday's video. My mistake. Day one, yeah. No. Here we are. I have the White Mountain water again. This is the only one I have left, and I don't like this. I'm definitely more of a sparkling water guy. This just straight up tastes like tap water. Not a fan, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, here we go. 8 hours and 7 minutes of robot combat today. Not as long as yesterday, but still quite the show. Let's see here. We can go to the championship match. I don't know if it's gonna be that easy. Talking about Bugsby there. It was nice to see all the guests. Dustin with Depth Charge, Zoe with Bugsby coming in at the end. Good way to fill some time. I also enjoyed the Norwalk bot guessing competition. That was a fun little thingy that they did. Of course, Marco Megularia. That's another person that they had on. Where is it? Okay. Well, poor quality probably because I'm streaming, but that's fine. Oh, there we go a little bit. Here, let's actually go back right here. This is where the fight's decided. Let's at least do 360p. That'll let us see what we're watching here. Face on, right here. Both these robots are going face on. Let's watch that first impact. Boom. The stuttering, the jittering of a Twin Beast right there. I think the weapon got knocked out pretty much immediately after that first strike, the left side weapon. Something was definitely unstable, and from that point forward, it was all Eruption. Took full control of the matchup, dominated it, and right there, we start seeing signs that, yeah, that left weapon is definitely not happening. Things are unstable. It would only go south from here, as we would soon get that lipo fire here in just a moment. It died in that corner. Twin Beast Eater seemed to be like full-on tanker, glass cannon in all these matchups, but Eruption especially seemed to show these weaknesses. Nothing like capping off an event with a lipo fire. One hell of a one at that. Might have been the biggest one we've seen all weekend in any event. And quite frankly, this was also a perfect way for this all to end. The Brazilian team, AGVS, being great sports there. Really impressed to see AGVS, see Brazilian teams in every single championship matchup. I knew the Brazilians were going to be doing good. Of course, we had the whole video about them, but championship matchup for every single Brett class. And one championship with the 12-pound class. Very impressed with Robots and AGVS with how they did today. I believe we are now up to 5 Brazilian robots in the December championship. And with 2 more events to go in the year, I am fascinated to see if maybe we'll see a Uriah, maybe the Thundercats team, maybe one of these other teams like Omegabots or Treoa try to come over to Norwalk Havoc and get their own position into the championship bracket at the end of the year. Only time will tell. Speaking of the championship bracket, some news was dropped by Dustin Eswine. I didn't know about this. Apparently, he is having his twins. Pretty exciting to see there. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Having twins, though, so he won't be able to run depth charge, but he is intending to have depth charge be at the finals. Yeah, he said he's going to try to talk to some of those other Deep Six team members to try to bring it along to compete with it. So maybe we'll see Andrew, maybe we'll see Bradley, 2 of the people that were judging during the event today. Maybe coming in to run Deep Six for him, or not Deep Six, I'm sorry, Depth Charge for him. But here's the moment I was talking about. What a way to end the event, putting the camera on the head referee, Jim Haney, doing what he does best, going in there to extinguish the robot for his final matchup in NHRL. Final matchup of the NHRL July event. The Beaterweight class, that's their bread and butter. Some of the most elite 3-pound competition in the world comes out of this arena. And with matchups like that, you can see it there. Very impressed with Eruption. Congratulations to the Voxel family getting in there and getting it done, getting their first ever golden dumpster with Eruption. Brian Bogsell capping in, getting his first golden dumpster. And there we go, throwing Twin Beast into the into the fire bin right there. I mean, you're pretty much stretching the robot away. What a badass way to claim your first championship. Jim Haney sending it off in a perfect way. There's some spooky powder right there. Just what more can you say? What a great way for this competition to end. Shout outs to our 3-pound class winners. As let's run backwards through this bracket real quick. Then we'll do the 12-pound bracket, look at Robotica, and we'll see where we're at from there. Of course, we talked about Eruption and Voxel, Twin Beast and Adrift. Shout outs to Adrift. Adrift actually managed to beat the greatest challenge. I certainly didn't expect to see that coming. Adrift beat Sombra. And really just went super far to qualify for the championship, and it wasn't no fluke like Otis. These guys made it here for real. I believe top 3 in the entire event, placing 3rd overall. That's amazing, especially for a classic horizontal spinner. I know Chaotic Robotics can talk about it. They faced Fillibuster with one of the backup Adrifts that actually competed in a grudge match. That's how badass Adrift is. It was doing both grudge matches and the regular bracket, placing 3rd, all in one event. Picking up wins left and right, knockouts left and right. Adrift looked absolutely fantastic. Very interesting to see how this robot matches up against some of the other horizontal spinners, which have already qualified for the championship. You know, robots like Silent Spring. We'll have to see how that goes down, though. Gotta take a drink here. This has been an exciting event. Oh, that's so soulless. Whew. But let's see other matchups here. I was bummed out to see Greatest Challenge start falling to Adrift there. There was some clear issues, though, when one of those wheels went down. Slowly and slowly it did stop, because it definitely seemed like Greatest Challenge. By the way, I think that's another Acceleracers reference. Isn't that something cool? Looked like it was doing good in that first minute against Adrift, but unfortunately did end up crumbling and falling there during the last 2 minutes of the matchup, losing its power and settling for 4th place here, as Adrift did get handled by Twin Beast. Twin Beast looking absolutely phenomenal. Once again, like I said, there was either dominance or getting absolutely torn apart by Eruption for Twin Beast. And I think that mostly covers what we haven't covered in the 3-pound class. There wasn't really too much for matches going on. Of course, oh my goodness. Before we do talk about that, we got to talk about that 3-pound rumble. They said it was an instant classic like an hour after it happened, and what a great match it was. I think, genuinely, no japes, outside of maybe like Cobalt Ghost Raptor, one of my favorite impacts, one of my favorite hits I've seen this entire year. Watched a ton of robot combat this year thanks to TCC, but my very favorite impact might be when Def Charge landed on Crash Fest there. You know, it looked like we heard Luke going, "Oh no!" Classic line from him. As Def Charge wedged up in the corner, I believe Beetlejuice was in the corner trying to take some nips and bites out of Def Charge there. Shout outs to the courageousness of a lot of those Beetleweights in there. We saw Hurt Caboose, we saw Shredded Bro, we saw a lot of little robots in there putting it all out. Pizza Bot as well. And some of those robots literally came out of there, and Tiny Smooth the Reigns, Cutting Board being one of them. But Crash Fest, probably the MVP of the grudge matches, Crash Fest and Division, probably combined damn near 10 grudge matches between the two robots. They were absolutely spectacular to watch, showing up out there, competing. Robert and Seth putting their butt out there, getting as many reps, getting as many miles on it as they can, figuring out what works, figuring out what doesn't. After both of them, quite frankly, had a little bit of a disappointing regular season main bracket run there. Crash Fest had a good run. I know they went pretty deep into the tournament, of course. Lost to Twin Beast right here. Going deeper into the bracket, they lost to another solid robot later on in the events. Underbite, that's the one. But went out in elimination round 5. Still a lot of robots here that went above them. A bit of an unfortunate finish there, but Robert's a good sport. He's an awesome dude. Great robot there, and it was absolutely ballsy taking on Def Charge. Probably more up in Def Charge's face than any other robots. I know Shredded's up there. I know Beetlejuice is up there, but wedging it on as much as it could. But talking about that moment, Def Charge almost hit the wall. Luke was freaking out. I was freaking out. Everyone was freaking out. Beetlejuice trying to take it out. Ended up skidding across the arena. Huge damage to the arena. Popped itself in the air. Crash Fest going in for the charge end to potentially attack it. Depth charge lands on Crash Fest, and I swear to God, I laughed for 2 minutes straight. I laughed for 2 minutes straight. Crash Fest went to a different dimension. I wish I knew exactly where it was in here so I could pick it out, but there's a lot of stream here to dig through, so I don't think I'm gonna do all that. But oh my goodness, what a sick Firebird! First of all, nice picture there, Ember. But what an exciting event! That was absolutely fantastic to see that footage. And see that whole rumble. You know, they're just hitting all of my favorite strings here. That's another rumble that really reminded me of Chinchilla versus all these smaller, less proven robots. Kind of like a boss battle of sorts we saw with Bugsby and Depth Charge here. Some amazing rumbles all over the place. I know Robot Rebellion had a bunch of melees that I'm going to have to go back and watch more in detail, since I was definitely focusing on the NHRL event most of the day. And speaking of the NHRL event, let's look at the 12-pound class here before we look at some of the Discord pages, see maybe we have more updates. I know I forgot to look at that pneumatic video. We got to do that real quick, too. I think we were down to 3 when we started the stream again. Ram Plam, Psycho, and Toro Jr. We started off with Ram Plan and Psycho. Psycho got their revenge back. I think it was a little fraudulent. Ram Plan versus Psycho #1. Not fraudulent, but it was definitely a questionable decision. Ram Plan, though, picked up the victory in that first matchup due to Psycho getting caught in such a wonky position. Psycho got the better of him here, got the victory, I believe, on a judge's decision. Ram Plan got that lifting arm ripped clean off, so Psycho got the victory there and moved back down to the grand finals, where they actually beat Toro Jr. quite convincingly in the opening matchup, sending it to the second round here. Sudden death for the championship. That was a judge's decision, too. We'll add that. And Jameson Go did say before we had that first Toro Jr. and Psycho matchup that he was confident that he was going to win both these matchups and take the 12-pound championship. And while he did get second place, while he did qualify the championship crown, we talked about it a couple minutes ago when we were bringing up the 3-pound class, would end up going to Toro Jr., the only Brazilian robot to take a golden dumpster home. Shoutouts to Marco Megalario and Matthew, the main driver for Toro, for all the Robots this weekend. Absolutely stellar stuff by him. Psycho, though, we're going to see improvements before December. That's about to watch out for. Overall, we saw Psycho, Toro Jr., Ram Plan, and probably the black sheep of all the finals qualifiers of this weekend, Otis, qualifying. We got to talk about this. Otis had quite the run. They, where do we start with this? Otis lost to Ram Plan, the only non-kinetic weapon in the entire bracket in the qualifier round, actually. Beat, and I saw this one on full, I believe, Kilojoule versus Otis. No, of course I saw it on full. It was on the 12-pound class. Otis sneaked that one through, and then here we go. 3 very good robots here. Attrition, the OG from Jameson Go, forfeited Otis through. The finalists in December, the 12-pound finalists, we saw it do super well in April. Sombra, though, after that Psycho loss, forfeited against Otis. Smeeze is another robot that we've seen plenty of. Kind of fascinated with what happened here because this last match, it was a victory against Solarplex, but forfeited against Otis. So Otis went 1-1 and got a final spot pretty much because they got their asses absolutely handed to them by Carmen. It wasn't even close. Carmen got a pretty easy matchup to go to the elimination semifinal to take on Psycho, where Psycho would knock him out to face Ram Plan, and that's where we sat with this one. Psycho versus Toro Jr., our sudden death grand final. It took us a minute to get to it, but what an awesome grand final it was. I think all 3 of our classes we went to sudden death grand finals. Actually, you know what? That's a lie because Knockoff Y went 3-0. My mistake. But Psycho and Toro Jr. was back and forth. But in the end of the day, Toro Jr. was the better driven robots, winning it on a judge's decision. Marco taking the golden dumpster in this class. Let's go back to the 3-pound class. I forgot to run over the finals qualifiers with them before we're done talking NHRL for today. Eruption qualified, of course. That's not a surprise, but we are a little surprised it took this long. Twin Beast, of course, representing Brazil. They qualified, the 5th Brazilian robot to make it in, going all the way down here. We also saw Drift, one of the big surprises to qualify in, and the Greatest Challenge, also qualifying our first Melty Brain in the 2022 December finals. I'm super excited to see this robot. This robot stole my heart during this event. Both Greatest Danger and Greatest Challenge We talked a little bit about Wheel of Power when we were doing Clash of the Bots, but none of the Wheel of Power matches actually surfaced on video. I just knew what the bot was about. A little bit like Halo and any other multi-brain style robot, but Greatest Challenge. We'll see him in December. It was so awesome seeing their team's reaction when they learned the news. You love seeing those raw moments of like, we did it right there. But some notable omissions. Once again, Sombra was one win away from going to December, and they just missed it. They got upsetted against Drift. Voxel has also come so close but so far away from making it into the December championship. They were also one win away. A robot a lot of people were expecting to make it into December, myself included. I was thinking they were going to win the whole thing. Mechanical Advantage, they missed out on it. They lost the Greatest Challenge. That was a huge victory there. Greatest Challenge picked up some huge wins back to back to back. Wasabi, Mechanical Advantage, Voxel, back to back to back, going up against the Drift here at the end bracket. But also another robot. A lot of people were expecting to make the finals. Another one, myself included. Mini Toro knocked out by Mechanical Advantage. This was an awesome matchup. Maybe my favorite of the night behind the Rumble. Actually, I gotta take 1 second to step away for a minute. Gonna run to the restroom and we'll be right back. After that, we're gonna talk more about Robotica. Maybe we'll do the call. Seems like it's been pretty quiet. I haven't heard anything from Antonio D'Ambrosio, so I don't want to bother him if he's not doing anything. I know all the teams are probably busy packing up, but we'll see. I'll be right back, though. Alright, had to step away for a second there. Feeling better. I'm right back at it. Hope you guys are having a pretty good evening as we go from afternoon to evening here. Not much else to talk about in these NHRL brackets, but what an event. Shouts to the NHRL team, all the behind the bots crew, everyone that competed for such an awesome event. But we will go on. Looks like they have finished up the heavyweight brackets, so we'll talk about that. We'll probably save that for last, actually. Let's check out the Discord here, see if we have anything from any of the Discord servers. In terms of the on-NHRL events. Overhaul, apparently in some exhibition matchup here. Oh, I forgot to look at the pneumatic file. We'll look at that in a minute. But oh, look at that TestBot. TestBot, I guess, had some exhibition showing. That's cool. Oh, Discord videos always seem a little slow. What are you gonna do though? So we got our boy Mark Elam up front here, just chilling. But we have 1 second of this slam by Overhaul. poetry in motion, isn't it? Oh, there we go. 2 seconds of it. I mean, we get the gist, don't we? We might come back to it in a second. Let's go back up and look at that. Actually, we need this up. We need to pull this up anyway. Let's close these. Let's say goodbye to the NHRL brackets. There we go. Pull up the, let's see, we'll pull up the Hobbyweight bracket one more time, the Featherweight bracket one more time. We'll check out all these big classes before we roll out of here. Here's some footage, though, of Pneumatic. I was meaning to pull it up earlier. Heavyweight action. Finally, some footage of some heavyweight action. Thank goodness. Pneumatic looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, with a robot that looks that much like Bronco, you know I'm going to be a sucker for it. Taking on another Texan classic there in Avalanche. Oh, good. Look at this packed crowd. Robot Combat is breathing and it's living and it's doing good. There's a, oh, looks like they do have a transparent robotic logo. Oh well. But I mean, look at this robot. I love the big Hypershock style wheels. Big Tusky lifter on the front. Shame they didn't really have the flipping power reportedly that they wanted to have. That's a shame. Probably due to the live stream, the video is running so slowly, but I mean, hey, that's a good flip right there. Really excited to see some footage of Pneumatic finally. It is a bit interesting that they didn't pick up too many wins. We might have to check out that last match when we get a chance here. But let's look at that July 16th post one more time. I'm sure we have plenty of new messages since. Scanning through all of this. There's a multi-brain Discord? That's fascinating. But yeah, not too much right here. Pretty much everyone just winding down. Some pictures from some of the events. Some of Team AGVS. Look how compact those robots are. Look at those two Twin Beasts. Twin Beast is a very awesome robot. What an awesome show from these guys. Some of the damage there from Blackbird. Probably gonna look at look at that. Is that Whataburger ketchup? That's some good old Texas Whataburger ketchup there. There's that RC car with a knife. Tell you what. Oh, excuse me. We had Ethan on the stream yesterday, and we'll load up this picture here in a second. I think me and him are going to try to collaborate something for the 12-pound class in Norwalk in November. That's going to be pretty cool. Something to look out on. We'll probably talk about it more if it becomes more of a reality. But essentially, we're thinking about bringing the TC Cruiser, the TCC Cruiser, whatever you want to call it. It's just a pun with the TCC name in it. And it's going to be a bit of an homage to StuBot. So we're not going to try anything too crazy here. We know it's going to need an active weapon. So I think I'm actually going to talk to my stepfather about figuring something out. Maybe we'll stretch a saw blade to a car somehow, maybe an RC monster truck. Because I think I'm going to work on the main car as to make it a bot. And then I believe Ethan's going to work on the trailer to make like sort of a little StuBot style setup with like some Legos or something. And I believe he's going to try talking to Austin to get some liquid nitrogen for it so we can have a liquid nitrogen weapon. That would be pretty fun to do. But only time will tell on that. Watch this space because that's something that we're trying to do. And I've actually been thinking about making a bot lately. You know, after doing almost a year of TCC now, thinking about making a push bot. Kind of had the idea of doing maybe like a 30-pound. Speaking of 30-pound, I was thinking that there was going to be a 30-pound sportsman event today during NHRL, and maybe there was, but maybe they just didn't have enough entries to do it. But I was thinking of making maybe just a big box on wheels, 4-wheel drive, 2 big forks on the front, kind of make it look like a giant D2 kit and call it D squared or something, or maybe D cubed. But we'll have to see. I would definitely have to put some money in on that, and money's a little bit tight for me right now, especially after I took 2 days off. 2 days off of my work to focus on TCC, but you know what? No regrets. I'm happy to be here with you guys. Just realized that I've had... What is this? I've had fluff on my hat. Just dropped my hat on the ground after one of the streams. I guess I've had fluff on my hat the whole stream. I do apologize about that. I guess I should probably lean in a little bit more. Okay, going off stream for you guys. I do apologize. But, oh my goodness, just what a wonderful event NHRL put together here. We're going to take a look at some of the Houston matchups here before we end the day. I know Team WPI said that they have WPI robots also in the Beataway finals. Let me double check that. Oh yeah, Stoneforge. I believe Stoneforge is also a WPI robot, and they might have won that. So that's pretty exciting. Evan Arias was great the whole time. Actually, yeah, let's talk about Evan Arias. You know, he cut the amazing promo to end last night. He got himself over with a little bit on this. But we have some interesting stuff to talk about. We were just talking about Shredded Bro, BattleBots Heavyweight. We are officially retiring Pain Train. That's what the word is. Pain Train is done, and I think we might do a TCC news video on this because there's a whole lot of stuff being dropped here. Evan Arias, of course, making a new heavyweight version of Pain Train, and apparently he's also considering running a charity bracket for St. Jude's to happen, I believe, in the end of September, early October, maybe at the Norwalk Arena. He said it might be invitational. He doesn't know what's going on yet. It's going to be a non-profit event, ideally. So if that happens as like a Norwalk bonus event, I think that would be cool, especially if it does end up being another chance for robots to qualify for the finals. But if not, maybe a charity marathon event, maybe bring some other styles of robots in there, do like a 24-hour stream or something. I think they might be onto something there. I think that could be an absolute blast. I'd cover it. I'd stay up 24 hours and do all the between shows for it. We'll have to see what happens, though. Fingers crossed that ends up being some pretty cool news, though. I might do a whole video on that, though, down the line. I don't have much in terms of robot combat news after this weekend. I just have the Guildford live event breakdown to do, and I have one applicant rundown that we recorded with Pori and Rednan on deck that I just need to edit together. I'm probably going to do that because after this, I think I need 2 days off of robot fighting because this has been a crazy weekend. But I love it. The new plan is the Rumble. It was awesome to see Ramplan in the Rumble. Seems like the latter half of their tournament, they cannot keep that jousting lance on for the life of it. But it's all good. Shout outs to that Rumble one more time. Best way to put it here. Oh my God, what happened to Crash Fest? Crash Fest literally just changed dimensions. Best way you can put it. Let that image live in your mind. I mean, that just shows you how sturdy Crash Fest is. Because I feel like that impact would almost obliterate maybe half of the Norwalk field. Crash Fest still looks like Crash Fest after that hit, even if it is down a lifter and yes, right there. There we go. There's the moment of impact. That's what we like to see. Just digging into Crash Fest. It could have been even more impact of a hit with that. Oh my God, is there footage? I just can't get over this. This was such an amazing hit. My hit of the year, maybe. Who would have thought we'd beat Warhead, Jesus Christ, I'm tired. Ghost Raptor and Cobalt's big hit. But I think they did it with this. Oh my goodness. Nothing left of that robot. Shouts to Division. We're definitely at the home stretch here. Thank you guys so much for the cute dog. Goodness me. We're about to look at Robotica. I think we're done for today. I am zooted. Of course, yes, we did have Brett the Brick fall over. That's another fun thing that did happen during one of the matches. Shredded Bro jump scare. Anything else interesting here? Hi all, sorry. Zoned out a little bit there, Ski. Oh, that's the guy who, that's Chris. Okay, that's the guy who made that bot. Very cool to see him. Glad he finally made the trek. Let's look at Houston. Where are we at here? Houston area combat robotics. Whole Hog did not make it. There's the official confirmation. And is that Little Pip? Why does Little Pip have the top of the helichopper on it? That's very bizarre. Maybe that's Whole. Maybe that's Tiger Woods. Very strange. Do we have pictures of the bots yet? Maybe we have a little bit in here. Oh, that was cursed. Yeah, there's some goofy robots that were at Robotica. That's a solid looking drone bot right there. Ugh. There we go. There's Pearl Gray with their beautiful looking matching toolboxes. Just some more pictures of the bots right there. One more check for some Robotica footage. Has to be some by now, you'd have to think. Today. Just one. And a very cursed Among Us video. That's great. But here we go. One more look at the hobby weights. Warhard XL did end up taking hobby weight crown, 5-0. Kind of the three robots we expected to see in our top three here. Warhard XL 5-0 after pulling out then jumping back in. Very exciting comeback to see they made there. Known Avenger, the Plow, four-wheel drive robot, doing pretty solid in this class. 4-1, showing off its tankiness to everyone except Warhard and Cannibal Mini. Still kind of an average robot. They do find themselves going deep in a lot of these brackets because hobby weight is a fairly small class. Not small, but not every bracket ends up being a big bracket. Usually we only see big brackets come out like the Norwalk event. Like we only had 6 robots in this one. So Cannibal Mini staying in the bottom half of the top 50% here, going 2 and 3. Of course, shouts to Spiky Steven, the homage to Spiny Norman from the classic Robot Wars days, showing up there, along with the Wedgebot, Derpy, and Chew Toy. Awesome to see some hobby weights in action there. We're looking at the featherweights though. Another robot that went undefeated, Squire. Undefeated, the 30-pound version of Dragon Slayer from Wildside Robotics. Couldn't tell you anything about these other 3 robots in the bracket though. So we'll keep moving forward here though. Of course, Brent Boxel was talking about it at the end of the NHRL stream. Back-to-back victories at the 2 biggest events for WPI Robotics. That's nothing to scoff at there, as Stoneforge takes the championship here at Robotica. 25 robots up, 1 champion in Stoneforge, the NHRL veteran, taking the championship against Unknown Avenger, the Avenger robots, also having a very good week. Back-to-back second places with them. Unfortunately, not able to get that victory, but they did get 1 win on Stoneforge. A lot of matchups here between the 2 in this little grouping of fights here. And Unknown Avenger also beating Ablation, who of course ended up beating Poggers. War Machine and Old Faithful, that was another matchup that happened. Data Collector lost Old Faithful again. That was an update I received from Lily from Team Fluffy Robotics. Data Collector was apparently having some drive and motor issues during that matchup. That's very unfortunate, but at least they did get that one last win against Mondo Bizarro, finishing 4-2 here at the Beataway class. But some new names that worth looking at. Did get my bad. Some new names worth looking out for did rise from this bracket, like Poggers, like Old Faithful, like War Machine. These are bots that we should maybe keep an eye out on if we see them in future NHRL, MRCA, HACR, Bash Bots events, anywhere in the world. Palm Beach Bots as well, that's another organization. Watch out for those 3 robots competing in other brackets. But let's get to the real bread and potatoes before we call it a night here. We've been streaming for a little over half an hour, so it's about what we were doing last night. We're going to call it here fairly soon. Maybe run over all our champions everywhere one more time. So we will do that right now, actually. Shoutouts to all of our NHRL qualifiers and finalists. We had Toro Feather, Knockoff White, Depth Charge, and Phenomenon in the 30-pound class with, of course, the finalists, Toro Feather and Knockoff White. The BattleBots rematch there. In fact, RealBots had a lot of BattleBots rematches. They had the one against RealBots. They had the one against Team Overboard, Deep Six with the Depth Charge matchup. They had 2 against Bots FC, Shatter with the Knockoff White matchup. 1 against Tombstone Hardcore Robotics with the Depth Charge Dread Hades matchup. And then lastly, they had 1 more in there with Toro versus Psycho. Of course, we had kicking off the BattleBots 2021 season, Minotaur against Sawblaze. There was a little Sawblaze there, but not by Jameson Go. This one was made by the Floridians, who also did a bunch of death matches, grudge matches with that robot. So we saw that in the 30-pound class. In the 12-pound class, we were just talking about it now. Psycho and Toro Jr. both qualifying in the 12-pound class. They finished top 2. We also saw Otis sneak their way into the finals, finishing 4th. We saw Ramplam, probably the Cinderella story of the entire event, going on one hell of a run, defeating former and future champions to get 3rd. And in the 30-pound class, we saw Greatest Challenge, Adrift, Eruption, and Twin Beast qualifying. There's two great robots named Eruption in the sport from different weight classes. Who'd have thunk it? But of course, at the start of the stream, we discussed it. Eruption versus Twin Beast. What a final that was. It was short but sweet. Many great moments packed into what was a fairly quick fight. Looked one-sided, but the backstory behind it speaks for itself. Of course, we saw at Robot Rebellion the championship between NBoss and Straddle with, not Straddle, Stratus, with Baby Shrek taking third. Shoutouts to Tom Brewster and Stratus, the brand new huge clone, starting off its career undefeated, beating NBoss in the championship matchup. NBoss needs to work on them anti-robot configurations. That was a bit unfortunate. MRCA Iowa, we saw Twisty. We saw Wicked Wedge and Candy Striker finish top two, number 1 and number 2 in MRCA at the Beetleweight class. And we also saw some Antweight qualifiers come through, some featherweight action as well. But now let's talk about this heavyweight bracket here. The big one for the week, the one that's going to go on our TCC rankings at the end of the month, hopefully. Hopefully they get these match videos out, because it looks like there was a lot of heavyweight action to watch here. I'm pretty eager to watch it. But where we ended off, we had Piranha versus Lil Pip resurrected. Piranha getting the one victory on it. Pneumatic losing to Ryzen, so maybe Pneumatic's flipper isn't working as good as we thought, because Ryzen seems like a robot that'd be easy to flip, hard to self-right, but that's where we sit with that. Happy Catter wouldn't end up getting that victory on Slammo, so Slammo's fallen down the pill a little bit here. Lost to Happy Catter, lost to Deferred Maintenance, but did manage to beat Avalanche, Little Pip, and O'Reilly. So losing to the BattleBots competitors there, that's a bit unfortunate. Avalanche, though, came back against O'Reilly after losing against Slammo and Ryzen. They're putting up a bit of an average campaign. O'Reilly has one victory, I believe. No, 2 victories. One against Little Pip, one against Piranha. But other than that, have been fairly unsensational. The Fire Maintenance finally... What? They lost against Tiger Plywood? Overhaul lost against Tiger Plywood. I gotta see what this wedge bot looked like, because this wedge bot's apparently hot shit and beans, because it has won. It's been on a 4-match winning streak since that round 1 where they lost to Pneumatic, the only robot who beat them. It was their only victory. How strange is that? But let's look at that final round. What exactly is going on here? Overhaul would beat Piranha in that final matchup, so they finished 5-1. O'Reilly would beat Ryzen, so they finished 3-3, I believe. Ryzen is maybe 2-4. I believe they did finish under the hill. Pneumatic does pick up 1 victory. Lil Pip Resurrected goes completely winless after the huge upset victory in round 1 against Mad Catter, the BattleBots All-Star. Tiger Plywood does lose against Slammo, so we have 2. So overall does end up winning then, because Tiger Plywood's the only robot to lose 2, right? Pretty sure. I'm sorry, Overhaul's the only one to lose 1. Slammo lost to Happy Catter. They lost to Overhaul. Tiger Plywood lost to Slammo and lost to Pneumatic at the start. Yeah, I think Overhaul won Robotica. I'll be damned. Robotica champion Overhaul. That's going to put them in great positioning to get back at BattleBots for 2022. If that is the case, congratulations to Charles Guan. We were talking about it during that Robotica preview video. Will they make their first proper run at the heavyweight championship bed since BattleBots 2015, where they placed top 8? Guess what? They did. Might have been easy to place top 8 in a 10-bot bracket, but to go number 1 in a 10-bot bracket, that takes a little bit of work, especially when you got a BattleBots All-Star in there like Mad Catter, a former top 32 member in Slammo, regulars of the scene, legends like Avalanche, regulars, like I said, like Pneumatic, like Tiger Plywood, up-and-coming robots like Ryzen, like Piranha, like O'Reilly. This was just a really solid bracket with a lot of variety. Shame we did see some robots pull out, like Claw Viper, like Whole Hog, like Extinguisher, and Big Dill. Imagine how crazy this bracket could have been if we had those robots in there as well. Maybe include robots like Rosie the Riveter, who was originally trying to show up. I believe there was some other Robotica finalist that was supposed to show up as a competitor. This could have been an even crazier bracket. Hopes for Robotica 2023, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to actually try being at Robotica 2023. I'm going to say that right now. Big plan for Houston 2023. I'm going to bring TCC stickers, I'm going to bring TCC pins, TCC buttons. Hopefully I'll have maybe TCC shirts back then, and maybe I'll get a chance to interview some builders, some organizers, some drivers, and cover some footage there. Maybe they can get a live stream going. I would love to do some commentary for a live stream. But it is about to be 6 o'clock. We're about an hour separated from when NHRL shut its doors for today. And we've been streaming for a little over 40 minutes there. We're going towards an hour, so I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Some final words I do want to say. If you enjoyed what we're seeing here at the Combot Collective with these Amidst the Havoc streams, please give us a like, comment, subscription, give us your love in the chats. We appreciate you so much. We appreciate your criticism. I know that it was a little bit hard to see some of these videos. I don't even know if what's on screen right now is legible. I had one person tell me that I'm streaming in 480p. I don't know how to fix that, but I am going to get that fixed before our next live stream. I know we did have some technical difficulties with some of the guests on day one. That was really crappy of me. I do apologize that it wasn't working out right. I'm embarrassed by that because it ended up being some of our only guest footage. Oh gosh. Next time we do one of these live streams, I'm definitely going to have the whole guest situation organized better. This is my first ever live stream of any capacity. I've been wanting to do some gaming live streams as well, but do one thing at a time here, and I need a better computer to do some gaming live streams, so I figured we'll do this here. This is going to be fine. I just need to talk robots with you guys, and I love talking robots just about more than anything else in the world. So it was really good to talk to you guys about robot combat. Guys like Rogers Robotics, Suffy Tester, Lily from Team Fluffy Robotics, and some of the other people that hopped into chat throughout the weekend. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the TCC crew, and I would say watch out for After the Havoc. That's going to be coming up here in the coming weeks. I already have Luke Stingle confirmed for that podcast episode, and I'm sure I'm going to be able to get Tony D'Ambrosio and Angel, both from the Shredded team, and maybe a couple other guests. Maybe I can get Matthew, maybe I can get Chaotic Robotics or Adam from Fillibuster or Death by the Head. Only time will tell. Maybe we can get Ethan in there too. It should be a good cast of people though. Usually we only had 4. We should have a couple more this time. Good round table of people to discuss what happened in July in Norwalk Havoc, a couple of days separated from the event here. I'm burping. I'm running out of gas though, so let's cap it off. This is the ending of an awesome weekend here at TCC. This has almost been TCC week. 3 video uploads. I hope you guys have enjoyed those. 2 news videos. Actually, 1 live event breakdown. We finally talked about Extreme Robots Portsmouth. We talked about all the big events that happened in June. We talked about the Robots and Team ATVS news. What ended up being big news. Once again, 3 robots qualifying for the December finals at this July event. We also saw, of course, 7 Amidst the Havoc streams. 1 was a little bit shunky. I do apologize about that. But these other 6 have run pretty good, I will say. Outside of some skippiness and maybe some low resolution that we're going to get fixed before a future stream. But you know what? Baby steps. We got to make it better. Last month was our biggest month ever for growth in TCC. We literally grew by 60%. And we want to keep that growth going. We want to keep getting people invested in BattleBots. Invested in some of these smaller scenes that they might not know exist. Like Norwalk Havoc, like Extreme Robots, Robots Live, RoboCore in Brazil, the French scene, the Chinese scene, the Russian scene, international robot combat. It's a worldwide sport, and that's what we're here to spread here at the Combot Collective, and I'm glad I was able to help with that a little bit this weekend as we covered 4 awesome robot combat events, and I think I might be having more Saturdays off. So maybe we'll be doing more weekend live streams covering more weekend events because weekends is the hotbed for robot combat usually. So stay tuned for that. But I'm done killing time here. This has been Sterling Brown with the first ever TCC live streams off a TCC Week of Excitement. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the VODs. Check out our social media. It's in the top right corner of the screen. Our Instagram, our Facebook, and our Discord invite code. Check out the VODs. Check out the other videos we put out this week. And check out the videos that we're going to be putting out in the coming weeks. I will say probably don't expect videos in the next couple of days. I'm going to take a break after this one. In fact, after this, I'm going to make a call. I'm going to head to the family casa and probably hang out in the pool, take a big break. But that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully you guys get some time out in the sun, take a bit of a breather, get away from the robots for a little bit because I think we all need that. We're all a little bit roboted out here, but this is what we love. It's robot combat, and that's what the Combot Collective is all about here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We've been doing this for 55 minutes. Let's get out of here. You guys stay safe, and we'll see you next time at the Combot Collective. This is Sterling Brown. Find me on Instagram at SterlingTXTG. I'm signing off. Thank you for an awesome weekend of live streams, guys. Probably should do that first, huh? All right, let's get out of here. Let's go rest and get some